What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Jay back with another video, and today let's talk build diversity in Naruto to Boruto Shinobi Striker. If you like my content, please like, comment, and subscribe. I'm going to be needing a lot of your feedback in this video, and please share this video so we can get as much people in on this conversation as possible. That's the goals of this video. That's what I'm aiming for. So if you guys can assist with that, that'd be great. Don't forget, if you subscribe, hit the bell for post notifications so you can see whenever I post more content on Naruto to Boruto, Shinobi Striker, and the other games that I cover in general. Now, off of that, let's begin. First things first, let's talk weapons. So in this game, we have like a variety of weapons. I like how it's spread out between the 4 classes. You have a couple different attack styles, which that adds to diversity within itself. You have a ninja sword, you got famed blade, you got a frying pan. You have plenty of weapons to choose from. They all have different combos, so this is great. The one thing I don't really necessarily understand is why they all do the same amount of damage. They shouldn't do all the same amount of damage. It should be different, especially when it comes to the grades. I don't really know exactly how that works, but to me, it doesn't seem that with the grades it affects it that much. It's generally like the same amount as attack, which to me that's kind of backwards. I feel like you should, with a higher grade, you should do more damage, or you should excel more in whatever that weapon's aiming for. So for example, if the frying pan has more range or has longer combos, that's something that it will like excel in when the grade's higher. I feel like that would add a lot of diversity within itself, because then not only do you have the classes, like role specific classes for weapons, but then you also have different types of weapon attack styles that you can use to your advantage. And then essentially that will make just about everybody's build different in some way, shape, or form. But anyway, let's move on to the ninja tools. So in terms of ninja tools, I feel like the diversity here is pretty good. I feel like the biggest problem is that this game only gives you 4 slots where you can make different roles and stuff, and it only has like 4 different roles, but it should definitely have 5. So it should definitely be some type of crowd control role, because in the healing class they have skills that's geared towards crowd control. So I don't see why it wouldn't be a crowd control role when there's plenty of skills that you can use that can tailor into that, and I would play more into a team aspect. But in terms of ninja tools for its specific classes, it seems fine. You have kunai, healing seal, and then you have the ceiling tag, which debuffs enemies. But if you're gonna use one debuff, you might as well have a controller class that has debuff skills and those things of that nature. But off of that topic, let's go ahead and move straight into clothes. So my problem here with clothes is that clothes don't tell you the percentage. Like, I can easily go look up on Reddit or something the percentages for all these clothes and how much power it gives you. Actually, this is like throughout the game. It doesn't really give you a percentage. It just says it boosts your attack power, but it doesn't necessarily say how much. Or it says lengthens the amount of time that enemies suffer from status effects, right? But you don't know how long that's going to be. And I would say that's one of the biggest problems in this game, is that a lot of this stuff isn't shown, it's not presented. So what that does is that kind of like separates the community in terms of people that actually know how to play the game and that actually like study the game, over people that's like just now like starting to play the game. They're just not at the same level. And not only will changing this make it easier to even people out, but it will also add competition, so more people will probably be playing. Even though, I mean, like, the servers aren't bad anymore, it's not too bad, but yeah, more people will be playing. And then when it comes to making builds, it will make it easier for you to make builds, because then you can decipher which ones are trash or which ones are good, since you only have 4 categories, right? So since you only have 4 categories to put your characters in, you're not going to necessarily be able to experiment within like one match. You'll have to go change whatever you want to do, go back in a match, boom. Like, it's just like, it's just kind of tedious to go back and forth, kind of like trying to figure out what things does what and to what extent. Same thing with accessories. Like some of these aren't as like they don't really necessarily show you like a difference, especially the ones that give you a certain amount of attack power or a certain shortens like the boost time or shortens ninjutsu. Like those you need numbers for, in my opinion, because when you put numbers behind it, then that tells the player how long those abilities are gonna last for, and how low your health has to be for those abilities to kick in. That adds in a whole strategy feature that should be in the game. I don't know why it's not in the game, but I mean, it is what it is. Let's move on to jutsu. So jutsu, I kind of feel like jutsu is pretty good for the most part. I would just say they need to fix the hit boxes for a lot of these, for example, because that's definitely lacking, and they need to like even out some of the jutsu so everybody's not using the same jutsu for sure. Because for the most part, everybody's using the same thing. There's not really any diversity on that in that matter. Secret techniques, I feel the secret techniques are fine. Like I said, we need that 5th class because they have stuff catered towards that 5th class. So it's like, why not use it to its ability? The reason why they mention clones is because clones are good for the most part. I like the creativity behind them. I have no problem with the clones. I feel like they represent whatever you're trying to do as a player. You have some that seal ninjutsu, you have some that seal movement. Like you have different varieties of clones that you can use to your disposal, and I would feel like that's the main part of the game that they got right, and being able to switch whichever ones that you want to switch to at any time. But I would say my biggest pet peeve is only having 4 slots. Like you can't have all these jutsu and only have 4 slots. Like come on now. Like if you want your game to excel, in my opinion, and you putting all this work into all these different jutsus, why only have 4 slots for people to create characters? Or at least let them be able to have 2 characters or something. Like something has to give in terms of the structure of this game. But for the most part, like the concept and the foundation, like it works perfectly fine. It's just the problem is things aren't as fleshed out as they should be, and all these small problems are turning into a larger problem in the game, and it's just that simple, and it's quite apparent. For example, we need more maps for sure. We just get recycled maps, or what we could even do, you don't even necessarily gotta make a whole bunch of different maps. You can open up different parts of the city, and we can battle in the different parts of the cities that we're in, and that would make it seem like it's a lot of diversity when it's really not in terms of maps. Game modes, I mean the game modes are fine. I don't really think it's really too many more game modes you can really have, but I do feel like we need to have the option to choose what game mode we're going to play, because every game mode requires a different build unless you're just running like straight DPS. If you actually want to be a strategist and these different game modes that you're running, then you're going to have a build tailored towards flag battle, you're going to have a build catered towards barrier battle, right? And this could improve like some jutsus that are like utterly useless. If you had this sense where some jutsus are really good for this type of game mode, and we were able to pick our game mode, that would also mean that since these jutsus excel in this specific game mode, people will be more likely to use those different jutsus, so then everybody wouldn't be using the same thing. Alright, then hold on. Let's dial back to clothes for a second. So another thing that I kind of don't like is that how the clothes are set up when it has the actual ability on the clothes, so it kind of affects like what you want to wear. It kind of takes away the customization to an extent, because it's like these clothes have different abilities on them, right? I would much prefer if we were to able to like wear whatever clothes that we wanted and then it was like mods that we could put on to have these abilities, I feel like that would make it a lot better. Because then you can essentially wear whatever you want. You can customize your character as you see fit without having too much of an effect on your performance in the game. Like clearly, like I said before, they don't do huge boosts or anything from what I know, but it's like, why would somebody choose like just how they want it over having like a small boost per se on like a specific aspect of the game that they're gonna be playing? Exactly, you wouldn't. You would choose to go for that small boost because like, what if everybody else is going for that small boost? You never know when that little bit or that extra boost might kick in and it's gonna count. So that's the thing about that. But for the most part, I really like this game. The adventure mode to me is fine, but just don't call it really an adventure mode. I mean, this is a PvP based game, so you really can't expect much when it comes to the adventure mode. I would just say dial it back just a tad bit. I mean, I wouldn't, you know what, don't even dial it back, honestly. It's perfectly fine. You got the rinse and repeat missions. If you really want to grind to that, then you become like Jonin or something like that. It doesn't really matter. I just kind of wish it was another way for you to get become Jonin. Like they should have like Chunin exams, Jonin exams, with people that are like within that rank for them to participate in. I feel like that would be pretty good for the game also. So people don't necessarily have to grind adventure mode if you don't want to grind adventure mode. You can play adventure mode if you absolutely want to play adventure mode. So it's not something that you're kind of like forced to do to get different ranks of like weapons or whatever. Or if, like I said before, just make it more apparent that the higher these letter grades are, the better weapons you will receive. Because I'm pretty sure once you boost your level, you also get higher weapons in the market or whatever. But for the most part, I've been playing this game on Xbox, been playing this game on PS4. I like the game. I just wish it had more customization within the game, because it has a ton of potential that it just isn't drawn out. The stuff isn't just fleshed out well, and it's kind of unfortunate. They fixed some of the bugs with it, so it's not as laggy. But every once in a while, you're getting those matches where it's just like super laggy. But other than that, let me see what you guys think about everything that I covered in this video. Go ahead, leave it in the comment section and we can talk about it. But anyway, it's your boy Jay. I hope you guys really enjoyed this content. See you in the next video. Peace out. Thanks for watching.